of the things that I think you're famous for, Mike, is this commitment to providing a level of service that creates repeat and referral business. And you've developed from a commitment all the way into a model. And you call that the promise. And it is a brandable, known, knowledgeable thing in the industry today. All the way from little old Idaho Falls, the promise shows up in conversations everywhere I go. Will you walk us through what the promise is, and maybe first how you came up with it, and we'll kind of role play that through?
So it's just something that I've always felt like was important to tell your clients what your commitment to them was, and that when you're truly in partnership with people, and there's friendship and partnership with your clients, that works both ways. And so I've always had this belief that if we did exceptional work, that they would be happy to refer business to us. And it was my preference, because I just, keep in mind when I started, the only thing we had was the Post-Register newspaper, and advertising in there was expensive. We didn't have the internet and some of these other mechanisms that we have today that aren't nearly as expensive. We didn't have social media or any of that. And so we really were dependent on other people to help us grow our business. And that's really the way I viewed it. If you were my client, Ben, I was dependent upon you to help me grow my business. And I thought the only way that I could do that was to focus on you and make sure that we took care of you, but also to tell you, to commit that we were going to take care of you, and to ask you to tell me if we weren't, and to make sure that we understood what we could have done in order to have done that. And so it just became something that I started doing early on, just making this commitment to creating a great, memorable experience for folks, and that through that we hoped that they would send us business, and teaching them how to send us business, and that if they didn't, we wanted to talk to them and find out, well, why not? And what is it we could have done? And that's the curiosity thing, rather than saying, well, those ungrateful, whatever, those folks are really ungrateful. I can't believe it. They didn't send us any business. Well, you really need to find out why. From their perspective, something wasn't golden, and we need to know why.
Let's walk through it a little bit. But I think what everybody should hear is, Mike, what percentage of current customers give you a referral?
Well, 100% of the business that I take care of is repeat and referral. Now, right now, today, at this moment, I personally have 35 pendings right now at this moment, and all of it's repeat and referral. There's nothing in there that comes from anywhere else. So, I made an effort to take off Wednesday. And during the day Wednesday, I had 3 referrals come in, and these were referrals where people proactively sent me the name and contact information of the folks that I was to help. And so so for me, it's just up there.
It's fascinating to me that in this business where, the NAR would say 60 some odd % of all business comes from a referral, right, or a past client, that more agents aren't focused on this. It blows my mind.
Mike, you gave me a stat once. You said, and I forget what it was, but it was like, from your team, every closing, you get 0.7 new transactions from that. Or do you remember what that number was, or how you explained it?
Well, we spent a period of time, kind of an interesting discussion. We spent a period of time with the Hicks group that our repeat and referral business was 79% of our business for the whole team. And in a conversation with Gary said, that's a little unhealthy. What you need to do is keep those numbers there on your repeat and referral side, but be sure you're constantly feeding your business with new business, because you're going to lose 10% out of your database here each year just through attrition, life, and relocations and things that happen. And so we altered our focus a little bit to try to drive more new business. But we found, honestly, we found it difficult because my models weren't set up. I hadn't been successful with the ISA thing or anything. And so there's only so much energy. That it's very important. Everybody understands you only have so much bandwidth. I mean, you've got your bandwidth, and that's what it is. Now, what you can do within that bandwidth will expand as you gain experience. I mean, to say what I mean there, if I go back and tell you that the first year, 3.5, the second year, 5.7, 7.5, and 10 million in volume in consecutive years, I worked the same number of hours in those 4 years. So I became more effective and efficient operating within the bandwidth that I have. And so everybody's going to go through that if they go through organization and growth. They hit those little ceilings and figure out what they've got to do to change that picture to allow that next level of growth. So now I lost track where I was going with that comment, but I think that you just have to understand you've got your bandwidth and stay where you are. So when we shifted energy trying to get new business, it really affected the repeat and referral, because as a team, we became less effective at delivering on our, talking about our promise and delivering it. So it created a back and forth.
I bet you if Gary would have understood, and here's the way I think about it, is Gary's right, that if you don't want to have a business that's entirely repeat, where you aren't increasing the size of your database.
Right.
Every time you guys meet somebody, they're giving you new contact information, new relationships, new people. So your database is growing. And if one of those people move away, your database from last year is definitely way bigger this year. And I think that's at the end point that he was trying to make is how do you consistently feed your database so it grows, so it can produce more of that over time, right?
Yes. Yes.
So walk us through the actual promise. Let's just, this is what happens. This is when you start talking about it. This is what I say. And this is, you know how to do this.
So, where people are most comfortable covering the promise is with buyers. That's just what they are. Get this thing out of my ear. They're most comfortable with buyers. And there's an advantage to that because you can stage that. And if you really have this committed to heart, you can stage it through your showing activity. But for the most part, it's, I'll just sit down and our goal as a group, so that is that our agents will talk to clients, customers, no later than the completion of their second substantial contact. So that's the stated goal and standard that we run to. And so it typically for an agent will be towards the end of an appointment if it's a buyer. And so before we go, Ben, do you have another minute?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Ben, if you got another minute, I'd love to talk to you about our promise. So you do have a minute?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, great. So then our group, we have this promise, which a goal to create for you an experience that you honestly, you just can't imagine being any better. All of our systems and everything that we do are designed to deliver on our promise. We, as a group, are focused on making sure that we understand what you want and what it is that you need. And we make every effort to stand out, to stay in front of everything, to stop the surprises, and just make it as good as it can be. Now, then in real estate, there's going to be challenges. They happen because it's real estate and people, but just know that no matter what's going on, that we are absolutely focused on creating a 10 plus experience for you. And that's our promise. Isn't it great?
That seems fair. And that seems like why I'm hiring you.
Indeed. So it's just our intent to do that. So we may do that. And then if you happen to do this at the beginning of your appointment, you'll do that. You wander in, you go look at the house, do your thing. You come back out to the car, you talk about their house experience, whatever. And then I'll come back and say, so Ben, we were talking about our promise. So there's more to it. And the more to it is that I actually want something. And just to say it, we have another goal, and that is that sometime from right now until the day we close on your home, that you'll be so pleased with what we're doing for you that you'll actually call, text, or email me the name of someone who needs help in real estate. Like you, they may be needing to buy a home, they may need to sell a home, They may be thinking about remodeling, refinancing, if they just need help with real estate. Could you do that?
Yeah, I could do that.
If we deliver, you could do that?
Yeah.
Cool. So it's important for everybody to understand that when we say this, 99 and 100 people, what they just heard was that I just asked Ben to give out my name. Even though I said, please call, text, or email me their information, what goes in our head, often people, when we say that, they'll say, Mike, we'll be delighted to give out your name, which provides a really natural foray, because that's what they'll say. So Mike, gracious, you do a great job. We'd be happy to give out your name. And I say, so that's great, Ben. So I really appreciate you giving out my name, but I want to make sure that you understand what it is that I'm asking. So hopefully while we are working together, you will be giving out my name, which I truly appreciate, because, word of mouth, it's the lifeblood of our business. But what I'm asking you to do, in addition to giving out my name, please take the next step and call, text, or email me their information. That way, there's a 100% chance that I'll be in touch and see if I can help them. So you do that, right?
No.
Yeah. So you'll call, text, or email, right? Yeah.
If people just say, like, you obviously say, you're going to call, text, or email me. If they just go, oh, yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah.
You then reinforce that idea that you want them to send it to you. I think that's a really key component of what you're doing, that reinforcement. If they say, oh yeah, we'll give out your name. But do you do that even if they don't say that?
Yeah. Oh, I go right there because they're nodding, and then I may transition. It depends who I'm talking with, but I may say, when I say that, most people think that I'm asking them to give out my name, which I am, but I want to make sure you understand what I'm asking. So it's a quick little transition that I'll plug in there. That's really not a part of the script, but we'll put it there.
When you said, would you please, I felt myself leaning in to understand entirely what you're asking for me. And we're role playing here, but I felt a commitment and a duty to help you.
Yeah.
Based on this gentle, polite, but direct request.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I've ever heard you say it so eloquently, and I've also never heard you talk about staging it in these different steps. But keep going.
Yeah. So so people will get the script, which is available on KW's site, and everybody gets it, and they want to make it their own. We'll finish it here, and I'll come back to this. But there's words in here that I've learned over time that move something from here to here with people. It just registers differently. It places differently. It motivates differently. And so those words like please and being focused on what it is that you want and what it is that you need. And, organizationally, I hear that happen here all the time because I'll hear Janelle on the phone and say, whoa, I want to make sure I understand what you just said. I want to make sure I understand what you need here. And so, it just slows everything up. That's what's saying we're into curiosity and not into judgment. It's curiosity first. And in fact, we're staying away from judgment because it's not our role to be in judgment. It's our role to find out why and then support. So it's important. So Ben, it's the day of closing. We're sitting at the closing table. We've signed all the closing papers. It's a happy day. But I know that you have not been in touch with the name of somebody that we could help.
Promise, Ben.
So I'm going to assume that we did not deliver on our promise, that we could have done better. And so I'm going to want to talk to you about what it is that we could have done differently or better to have earned that referral from you. Is that okay with you if we do that?
And you're doing this at the same exact time that you had just got them to commit to call, texting, or emailing you somebody's information.
Right. And now I'm saying to him, we expect to earn it. I don't expect you to just give it to me, Ben. We expect to earn it. And if we haven't gotten one, I'm going to assume we didn't earn it. And we want to find out why so we can get better. And so it'll be okay if we have that discussion that day, right? And people say, yeah. And I say, well, listen, just so you know, we're going to deliver. So we're going to count on that referral, and I'll tap them on the back, shake their hand, touch their arm, just something to make that physical contact when you're face to face with somebody. And it registers.
Powerful. Are you kidding me? Like, I would be immediately, I think, if you and I had that interaction, especially the way you delivered that, I would feel immediately like I needed to think of somebody. Like, my brain would be going, who the hell do I know that's buying and selling a house? And there's a lot of pressure around that idea that we're going to go to closing, and you've done a great job, but I haven't come through. Like, wow.
Right. So, the amazing thing is, as agents, we make the decision often about when we're in a relationship with somebody. Well, we have no idea whether we are or we aren't. We know how we feel about that person. We don't know for sure how they've connected with us. And so Saturday, this is a client I've never worked with before. They are a referral. They're coming into town. And in fact, I'm meeting his wife in an hour and 10 minutes. She's coming into town. He's showing up Tuesday. But anyway, Chad, I'm talking to him Saturday, getting things all set. And I went ahead and went through this with him over the phone, and I've never met him. And we went through the discussion, went through the whole thing with him over the phone. He's a security analyst. Anyway, he thinks this is pretty awesome. He says he's never heard anything like it. Anyway, he says, Mike, I already like you. Of course, we're going to send you referrals. Anyway, we hang up the phone call, and 2 hours later, he texts me and says, Mike, there's 3 more guys coming in. And he says, now a couple of them aren't coming until September, but one of them's coming in August. I'll be sure to give them your name. And I texted him back and I said, how about you give me their name? And he said, okay. And he sent me their names. And I said, can you let them know I'll be calling? He said, sure. And so I've been in touch with all 3 of them. And, I let him know, look, if they know they're coming, they're already starting to look online. They're already starting to look. They're going to end up with an agent other than me if I don't get in touch with them right away. So that happened. And again, I'll meet his wife for the first time here in just over an hour, and I get to meet Chad Tuesday. So my point about this whole thing is not to brag. That could sound like boasting. What I'm saying is that don't assume it's too early to go over this. You're setting a standard. You're creating an expectation of your delivery and what you'll get if you do.
Like, that guy doesn't know the Chad, right? He doesn't realize, right? You think, oh yeah, I'll tell him your name, but he doesn't realize what you know, which is they're going to be online. They're going to find somebody else, right? There's going to be agents calling them because they signed up on Zillow or wherever. And so, really,
I didn't want technology to interrupt that relationship. So it was okay. Let me go ahead and reach out to him now. It's probably not too early.
Every time I've been with Mike and we had this discussion, Mike's been able to open his phone up and show me somebody from that day or somebody from yesterday or somebody from a few minutes ago that literally just texted him or messaged him a referral. Every single time, Bob. It blows me away. And I think what Mike has figured out, which is what I wish all of our customers and our agents and our friends would figure out, is that the hard work is converting an internet lead, doing ISA cold calls, doing open houses, buying leads and buying referrals from other people. That's the hard work. And you don't make enough on that unless you do this one thing. You turn every one of those people into repeat and referral business, and then it's really, really worth it. But if you can't get your agents to create referrals and offer the promise and ask for business, all you ever have is a single transaction with a single cost of sale. And it's never going to make financial sense, which is why so many agents don't make any money.
Yeah. So then I've got a grid that I'll show agents, and I'll say, okay, you start off, if you work in some form with 40 people in a year, and so my grid will say 40, then it'll go 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%, 50% across the top. And we scale that down and say, okay, well, how many referrals is this in a year? What does that look like? The thing we have to remember is that if half the time people that you're working with send you referrals, so you fail 50% of the time, you succeed 50% of the time. Remember, the 20 people that they did send you, those 20 should also send you 50%. those 10 should also send you 50%. Those 5 should send you 50%. So if you start with 40, you actually, if half the time, if you can succeed and grow your business to where half the time this works, you'll have 39 additional pieces of business originating from 40. And those people don't have to do business with you to refer you. Have to remember that. If they may decide not to do business, but they really like what you did, they respected what you did, they appreciated what you did, they will send you business. So
how does your staff, your team reinforce the promise after that initial appointment?
So halfway through a transaction, we have a formal check. So, which is right after the inspection. So right after the inspection, that check-in happens from both the success team as well as the agent. So it's on our plan. It's on our little Brivity plan that we get done with that. It triggers the discussion from the success team as well as from the agent to have a formal conversation, ask the client, okay, how are we doing? I want to check in with you. How are we doing? And as a part of that check-in, it does go in and say, hey, so we're doing okay. Have you given out my name to anybody? Oh yeah, Mike, we've mentioned your name to half a dozen people. Awesome. So you're talking about me out there, huh? Yeah. Oh man, that's awesome. I really appreciate it. Remember, I mentioned this before. Word of mouth is the lifeblood of my business. But would it surprise you to know that as far as I know, none of them have called me? And let silence fill the air, just like we just did.
Love it.
You just wait. And now you have to let them off the hook, and you have to say, so you remember when I was talking to you about our promise, how I said, look, in addition to giving out my name, please call, text, or email. This is why. Because if you want them to have a chance to have the same experience that you are, you have got to give me their information so I can reach out to them. And so you reinforce it at that point in time, and that's usually the one that triggers the referral before you get to closing. It's the reminder.
Mike, my mom is a real estate agent. I don't know if you've heard Ben talk about it. She had 79 transactions in her first calendar year of being an agent. I am going to force her to watch this video and just master this, because like I know she's not doing this. She's probably, she gets referrals or whatever, but like this systematic approach with as hard of a worker my mom already is and as good as she's already doing in her third year in, like her business could explode from this.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll explode anybody's business. And the thing is, if you're not doing a good job, if you're sincere at the exit interview and they start telling you things that the reason why you haven't gotten that referral, here's the important part. You're nodding and you're saying thank you. You may disagree at the core of your heart. You may want to say, yeah, but. You don't understand. Yeah, but. Their perception is what you want to know. Their perception is what drives whether they're going to send you referrals or not. You need to understand what their perception was, try to understand why it was what it was, and what you can put in place to stop that perspective from developing in the future. So you just take it. Every left hook they deliver, every jab they deliver, you just take it and say thank you. And then when you implement something that they suggested, you call them and you tell them, hey, you remember when we were talking and you said this? That's become a formal part of my business. I can't thank you enough. And you let them know.
What would be your final ad words about the promise?
Use it.
Yeah.
And don't adapt it. Just use it as written. I know it's not your words, and I know it feels foreign. It feels weird. Just learn to make them yours.
I mean, Mike, the way you deliver it, you can tell you've done it a lot. It doesn't feel scripted, but after talking to you, like my mom wouldn't deliver it the same way you would, right? She's a different lady. She's high energy. She's like in your face. She could deliver the same words in her way, right? And so you adapt it to your style, but you don't change the way it's done or the words.
Right.
You use.
Yeah.
Love it.
So that'd be the big thing I'd say, just implement in your business. Understand it's not just a script. It's a business practice. It should be the base of your business practice, and let everything funnel from it out.
Mike, would it be okay if I shared a screen that has your CRM open, logged in under you as the lead for a second?
Sure.
So,
have you been spying, Ben?
I'm always watching you, my friend. I'm always watching you.
Big brother watching.
Yeah. Mike, this is the lead profile for you, but this could easily be any contact in your database.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a tooltip that I use, but based on your business, I think it would be a really cool thing that you guys could experiment with, and other people watching this video, you guys should consider this. So underneath the lead record, Mike, you go down here to where it says relationships. In relationships, you're allowed to link people. And the common way in Brivity that people use to link people is they want to know, well, who is Mike married to? So I can link spouses. And who are Mike's kids? And that's really easy to do. We can go here, add relationship. We could start typing in, well, I'm going to link somebody's family. Like I'm only going to pull in the Hicks people, right? So I'm going to go in here and we'll find.
Pull that one. That's my son-in-law.
Which one?
Anthony Lemons. Yeah.
Yeah. So we go here, we click save, and it puts these two people up here, and we can go and we could say, well, who is Mike? Well, you are the parent-in-law, father-in-law, right? You're the father, whatever that might be. So you go here and you pick, you're the father, and this person is the child.
Mm-hmm.
So you can decide, right? So you go here and you hit save, and now that person's been added into your profile. And that allows you in the future to always have these people, right? So you know who they are.
Right.
But a better way to do that, or an additional way to do that, Mike, is you go up here and you click add relationship, and let's put in somebody, we'll pretend somebody that's not, we're just going to make this for fake, okay?
Okay.
So we're going to do
you have some of the same people in your database that Ben and our businesses have had over the years. I don't know if you guys caught that, but that's funny.
I saw that, but we're going to move on. You could go in under every single person that you've ever done business with, and you could go into their profile, and you could say they are the referrer, and they refer this person, and you could save it, and you would know that that person originally came. Stephanie originally came from Mike. And the next time Mike gives you a referral, you go and you add that relationship as well, and you will see a whole history of how many people Mike has ever referred to your business by using relationships, and you can easily click between them. So the next time you visit Stephanie, inside Stephanie, it will show Mike as the referrer. Does that make sense?
Yes, sure.
You're building the spider web of all these people that have actually taken advantage of the promise and that are connected.
Yes, that's great.
And then another easy way to improve on that would be to add a tag, referred closed, so that easily show me all the people that have referred me business this year if you want to invite them to an event. And then you're going to do a special event for everybody that's referred you something that's closed. So you put the closed tag on there, right? And then you sort those, and then you can work those people in a more special way because they're your A pluses or whatever.
Yeah.
But just something for you to think about. Mike, I know you got an appointment coming up, and you got a busy day. You got to go sell 300 homes today. You and Sean, you guys have a massive business. Why did you guys make the switch? You gave up 3 other systems of technology to move to Brivity. Why did you make that switch?
Well, actually, you sort of said it. We had 3 other systems. There was so much duplicity. You get a new client, you're adding them in multiple databases, you're controlling one thing in one CRM, you're doing stuff in another. I mean, it's just all over the place. And so we looked for that solution where we could have everything in a single place. And, there's no program out there is a panacea for everything. A sync has certain advantages doing certain things. Top producer has advantages doing certain things. But what we were looking for is the blend where we could have one single management place. Our websites and, just everything could drive into one source. So us and our agents and our support staff, everybody is in a single funnel that we can manage and pay attention to and measure from. And it simplifies training. it's just, and so that's what's been working for us inside the Brivity system. And as Ben and Bob know, there are things with the system that we hope that enhancements that we're suggesting that are continue to improve the system. But it's doing a far better job of managing our business than we've had before, and it's giving us a lot of abilities. We when we put our teams together, we were between the two teams, we were keeping 60-ish, 50 to 60 pendings kind of routinely. And right now for 2.5 months, we've been running between 110 and 120 pendings at a single moment in time. And we have the same number of people managing those closings. So the system has created a lot of efficiency for us.
Yeah, technology allows us to get time back so that we don't end up one day and have to have 100 admin and staff and salaries and expenses. It creates us efficiency so we can do what we're really good at, which in your business is provide that level of service that generates that repeat and that refer.
Yeah. So it's been a great change for us. The team's been very supportive of the things we need, responsive. So it's been a great move for us. No move from one CRM to another or multiple CRMs to another, and especially in our case, where we had all kinds of different things going on behind the scenes with the systems running our two separate businesses. But this one is as well as it could go. Really, truly believe that.
Well, kudos to you guys. You guys have a great team there, Mike. You've gotten into business and partnered with some really smart.
Well, Stephanie's a horse, isn't she? Stephanie's amazing.
Yeah, she's awesome. She's always in our Brivity Mastermind group, like giving other people tips. And here's how I did this. And so not only is she like on top of your business, she's helping our business out too. So
that's great. That's great.
Hey, you have a favorite feature or functionality or benefit of Brivity?
If I was looking at it from the perspective of an agent, there's lots of operations things, the plans and all those applications, but helping agents keep up with their clients and just having automatic things that happen that when you're in contact with somebody and you classify them as a B client, that it automatically creates a plan and we can monitor past due, how long has it been since we've been in touch, where it's slowly but surely we're just closing up all those black holes where business was just dripping through. And now we've been able to show agents how they can monitor their business and make sure they understand numbers tell the truth about how you're managing your business. So I would tell you that tool, that daily thing of, hey, this is what you need to be doing today. It's time to contact so-and-so. That's huge. That is a moneymaker for every agent on our team.
Mike, how would people get a hold of you if they have a referral or if they want to reach out and connect with your group, if they're ever visiting Idaho Falls, or where would you send them?
Well, if you're ever visiting Idaho Falls, I do hope you'll call. Just call. The number here at the office is 208-227-5317. If for any reason you need to reach me personally, it's 208-521-7735. Send a text or something. We'll always get back to you and try to take care of things. But delighted to help anybody with whatever they need.
You know, Mike, every time I meet with somebody, what I try to do is I try to explain what I'm trying to do to improve our relationship. And I know you decided to become a customer with us, Mike, and I want you to know that I have a couple of things that I like to promise to everybody. And I like to promise that our technology would be something that would keep you relevant in every transaction, and that we can give you and your team up to 80% of your guys' time back so you can focus on what matters in your business. And that we would be an easy button. If you ever need anything, that you could reach us 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Does that seem like the kind of promise that Mike, you would want to be made from a partner in business, a technology provider, like going into business with us?
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely. And even more important than that, than making the commitment, is keeping the commitment. And I think you're very focused on that. That's the big deal, keeping the commitment.
So, Mike, there's just one little addition to our promise that I would like to ask from you is that, Mike, sometime before the end of your next billing cycle, that you would take the chance to just reach out to me by text, email, or phone with somebody's contact information who could use a change in their business, that they could be more efficient, they could use more leads, they could like to save money. Mike, do you think you'd be willing to make that promise to me?
You betcha.
Mike, at the end of your billing cycle, if I haven't received a text, call, or email from you, what I'm going to know is that we've done something that didn't earn your trust to refer us business. Would it be okay if we scheduled a time to sit down and talk about what I could have done to to earn your referral?
Sure. We could even have a phone call, or you could even come out and visit and find out.
Mike, how did I do at my promise from Brivity, the Brivity promise?
There you go. Awesome.
Thanks for letting me do that. I really appreciate your friendship. I'm even more impressed with you today after I learned a little bit more of your history, Mike. You're an incredible real estate professional and a business owner, and more than anything, a person. So thanks for sharing with us today and with Bob and I and with all the Brivity people.
Well, appreciate your friendship too, Ben. It means the world. Guys, Bob, appreciate your support too.
Thank you, Mike. Thanks for doing this.
See you later.
Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.